Okay, so what did I think of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? This is Exasperated Nerd Explains. In what is now an annual release, the latest Call of Duty has arrived. It sets up what I expect will be a franchise under the Cold War moniker, as the entire plotline of the game concludes by the end of 1981. You are on a multinational team tasked with taking down Perseus, a Russian agent that has been operating since at least Vietnam. You spend most of the gameplay as an operative named Bell, and the entire time there are unsubtle hints, especially if you talk to the team between missions, that something isn't quite right with you. Most Call of Duty games try to have some sort of twist or moment in the plot that's supposed to blow your mind, and this one was telegraphed way too much. I am going to spoil it here, so feel free to pause, play through the campaign, and come back if you don't want it ruined. The twist is your character, Bell, is actually a former Perseus agent who was shot in the first mission, captured, and brainwashed to forget his past in order to provide information to the team. That is why everyone is so wary and weird around you. This leads to an interesting mission where reality is melding and shifting as they drug you to get more information, and is one of the better sequences in the game. I think this particular manipulation of the world as you play through it is always fun in video games, but it's not anything new. From Batman Arkham Asylum fighting Scarecrow, even all the way back to Eternal Darkness Sandy's Requiem on the GameCube. The reason I say this twist is obvious is because there is an early mission where you play as Bell in Vietnam, reliving your supposed memories, and a few of the people on your current team are there. But when you talk to them afterwards, they act like they didn't know you before this. We served together in Vietnam and now you don't know me? Forgetting the fact that I doubt intelligence you happen to remember from a memory exercise that you got on a mission 13 years ago would be relevant to a current plot. That obviously makes it seem like something's wrong with your memory. So at the end of the game, this is revealed to you, and you have one real choice between two endings. Choose to help stop Perseus from nuking just about every major European city, or lead your team full of liars into a trap and kill them, ushering in a new age of Soviet dominance. With the hype and buildup of all the encounters and close calls American forces have had with Perseus through the years, I would have preferred there be missions flashing back to all those times Adler stopped him, or at least tried to stop him, in between the current day missions, to really build up the hype of getting closer to this elusive agent. But with this twist in place, you really couldn't do that anyways, as the whole Vietnam thing was entirely a memory implant to get you to reveal information. It is something that could be done in sequel Cold War titles if they choose to pursue this. The only thing that surprised me is that the Bell character was injured in the first mission, because I assumed you were Bell on that mission. It was only looking at it again that I realized you play as a different member of the team, because he also has no character traits at all and is a blank slate, just like Bell. As to the missions themselves, I wish there was a little more subterfuge like the level inside KGB headquarters. Yes, it is a Call of Duty game focused on gunplay and big action, but for the Black Ops titles specifically, I think they could lean a bit more into the spy aspect of it, especially for the Cold War. I did like that there were side missions where you had to figure out clues in order to unlock and complete them successfully. I wish there was a little more of that. There are certain missions or mission areas where they want you to employ stealth and sneak around, but the way in which you can do that is severely limited. You can't shoot out lights, for example, which is a pretty simple thing as far as stealth gameplay goes. This game is mostly on rails, like other titles in the franchise. And don't get me wrong, this can lead to some fun cinematic action sequences, but it also limits the way you can play the game. Some areas feel like you can just stop shooting and watch the sequence without anything happening to you. There's a few little glitches and weird things which aren't a big deal, at least when I played it. In the East Berlin mission, I tagged all the cops walking around, and by accident tagged a few civilians as well, who appeared as white instead of red. Much later in the level, I was thinking, what are those white things on my screen? And realized they were the tagged civilians still showing up from the beginning of the level. I guess it's nice to know I'm still thinking about them on the other side of town. Also, the game's friendly fire system is odd. It won't let me shoot someone if I try, but then Adler runs in front of me while unloading on this guy and suddenly it's my fault he's dead. But later I can hit Miss MI6 with a Molotov cocktail and nobody says a thing. So just let me kill them or make it impossible. I don't like it in between. I don't know how other people play these games, but I sometimes do things for my own amusement just to see if I can. Like carrying a dead body into a firefight? Or walking around during the mission briefing to see what the guy here is eating? Or just standing in the way and having someone walk into you, pushing you out of the way casually as they talk? Or just, taking stupid pictures.
Snap pictures of anything that looks important. Maps, blueprints, whatever you can find.
Nice crotch shot. There's a lot of fun in the gameplay with some interesting setups to the missions in the game. The fake American town where Soviet special forces train is a real highlight. It's worse than we thought. The Russians have invented bulletproof televisions. The free world depends on us to stop them. It's nice that Adler leaves his classified emails without password protection around a recently brainwashed Russian agent. Oh, which East Berlin could it possibly be? I can't tell due to the redactions. Okay, yes, all this is nonsense, but it brings us to the real question. What is with the pretzel guy? Did you see this? Am I the only one? Why aren't these armed guards arresting him on sight? This is clearly not normal. Look, I know they don't want you to see this because if you find Kraus right away on this mission, you'll move on before you see it, but look at all those pretzels. He's clearly smuggling them in. Arrest him. They aren't even in bags. They're just laying on the floor of the nasty trunk of his car. Why are you still searching? You found all the evidence you need. Execute him. Execute him now. And of course, multiplayer and zombies is always a mainstay and pretty good. All in all, basically, if you like Call of Duty, you'll like this game. The actual gameplay and controls are pretty much the same, so there's not a huge learning curve. If you hate Call of Duty though, you probably won't like this either. What did you all think of the twist? Did you see it coming? Did you guys see Pretzel Guy? I am obsessed with him. What's that about? He should be an unlockable character if you ask me. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Bye.